Branches of aorta. I would say our big title will be the branches of aorta. Right. So first of all, we should discuss the branches of thoracic aorta. Let me mention here branches of thoracic aorta. Right. So thoracic aorta has, as you know, it has about four important parts. In the previous, in here we have discussed that it has four important parts. The first part is the root of this aorta. The second part is the ascending aorta. The third part is the aortic arch, and the fourth part is the descending aorta. We will discuss as friends, as you know that I have discussed the coronary circulation of the heart. So from the root of aorta there are two arteries arising, and these are called the coronary arteries. About these arteries I have discussed in the coronary circulation of the heart, so or blood supply of the heart. So go and watch those lectures so that you could be able to know about the first branches that the thoracic aorta gives, or the coronary arteries. I have discussed them in detail. Go and watch them in that lecture. The next branches which arise from the thoracic aorta will be from the aortic arch. Right. So let me discuss here the branches of thoracic aorta. So thoracic aorta gives off branches from three important regions. Let me draw the thoracic aorta again here. So this is the root of the aorta, right? It's the aortic wall. This is the root of the aorta. Then it moves up and gives a curve. So this is the aortic arch, and then it descends down. This is the descending thoracic aorta. Right. Okay. So from where does this aorta, this thoracic aorta, gives off branches? The first branches that arise are from here. These are called the coronary arteries. Okay. I have discussed them in detail in the coronary circulation of the heart. The next branches that this aorta gives is from the aortic arch, and from here an artery arises. I will discuss it in detail. And from here another artery arises, and from this point another artery arises. We will name them, we will discuss them in detail, right? Then moving down, then from other parts of this thoracic aorta, this descending thoracic aorta, a next group of arteries arise. Those will be discussed in a separate lecture. We have a very detailed sketch. We will show you all those arteries in a detailed sketch. So let's focus on these three arteries, right? Okay, this one is the brachiocephalic artery. Brachiocephalic artery, right? This one is the left subclavian artery, right? And this one is the left common carotid artery. Okay, so this brachiocephalic artery, I will discuss all of them in detail, gives off two branches. So this one is called the right common carotid artery, and this one is the left subclavian artery. Okay, right, let's discuss about these branches. So aorta, this thoracic aorta gives off branches in three important regions, right? This region is the root, this region is the arch, and this is the descending aorta. Okay, let me mention them here. The A part, the first part is the root of the aorta, root of thoracic aorta, and it gives off coronary arteries. Clear? They give coronary arteries, the right and left. Okay, then the second part of this thoracic aorta is the B part, which is the aortic arch, and we will discuss these branches. Aortic arch, and it gives off about 3 branches, and then there will be the third part that gives off these branches, and that is the descending aorta. And this descending aorta will give many branches. We will discuss them in a separate lecture. Descending aorta. Right, let me discuss the branches of this aortic arch. I will mention that I have recorded a separate lecture on these coronary arteries. You can watch them there. Right, let's discuss about the aortic arch. Aortic arch. The arch of the aorta is the curved part above the ascending aorta. Let me write it. It is the curved path. It is the curved part of aorta above, you can see here, above ascending aorta. Right, it gives off 3 branches of arteries. It gives off 3 branches. Okay, the first branch that it gives is the brachiocephalic artery. The first one is the brachiocephalic artery. Right, let's discuss it. This one is the brachiocephalic artery. So it arises, what is its origin? This artery arises, right, this artery arises at the upper border of the second right costal cartilage, right? It arises at the upper border of second costal cartilage. This is its origin point. Right, here is the we can say that here is the first costal bone, right? Here will be the first costal bone, and here will be the second costal bone. So here is the cartilage of this second costal bone. So it arises at the upper border of the second costal cartilage. Okay, what is its diameter? What is its diameter? The diameter of the brachiocephalic artery, so in case of males, its diameter is about 9.1 to about 14.5 millimeter, right? Its diameter, the diameter of brachiocephalic artery for males is about 9.1 to 14.5 millimeter, and in case of females, its diameter is about 8.3 to 15.5 millimeter. Okay, this was the diameter of this artery. I'm sorry, someone is disturbing here. Okay, let's leave it. Right, then what are the branches of this artery? Branches of brachiocephalic artery. So brachiocephalic artery gives off 2 branches. brachiocephalic artery gives off two branches, as you can see here. The right common carotid artery and the left subclavian artery, right subclavian artery. Okay, so the first branch is the right common carotid artery. It is the first branch of the brachiocephalic artery, and it goes above towards the head, and it supplies blood to the facial regions and the brain. Okay, we know that. What is the diameter of this artery and the length of these arteries? Let me use another color. So the diameter of these arteries, which arteries? I'm talking about the right common carotid artery. Its diameter for male, this is the sign for male, is from 4 to 8 millimeter, right? And in case of females, its diameter is about 4 to 5 millimeter. Clear, friends? Very good. And then what is the length of this right common carotid artery? The length, so its length is about 21 centimeter. The length of the right common carotid artery is about 21 centimeter. Now the next branch that this brachiocephalic artery gives is the right subclavian artery. The right subclavian artery. It is called subclavian because it arises below the clavicle bones. That's why we call it subclavian artery. Okay. What is the diameter of this right subclavian artery? The diameter of the right subclavian artery in case of males is 6 to 10 millimeter, and in case of females its diameter is about 6 to 8 millimeter. And what is the length of the right subclavian artery? So its length is about 9 centimeter. The length of the right subclavian artery. Right, this was about the brachiocephalic artery. So the brachiocephalic artery arises at the upper border of second costal cartilage, and its diameter for male and its diameter for females is little bit separate, and it gives off two branches. The right common carotid artery, right, this one, which gives off internal and external carotid artery. The internal will lead to the blood supply of the brain, and the external will go to the facial regions. Then there is another branch, and that is called the right subclavian artery. So I have mentioned the diameter and length of each of these arteries. Right. The next thing that is the left common carotid artery. Another branch arises from it is the left common carotid artery. Let's discuss about left common carotid artery. Right. Okay, let me use the green color again. Right. So there is the second branch which arises from the aortic arch is the left common carotid artery. Left common carotid artery. Right. The left common carotid artery arises at about the distance between these two arteries, the brachiocephalic artery and the left common carotid artery. The distance between them is about 12.1 millimeter, right? So we can say that It arises from the it arises at, let me write here, it arises at 12.1 mm apart. Apart means there is a small distance between them, apart from, as you know, brachiocephalic artery. Brachiocephalic artery. So the space between these two is the about 12.1 mm. Right. What is the diameter of this left common carotid artery? Right. The diameter of this left common carotid artery is 5 to 7 millimeter. It is in case of males, right? And in case of females, it is about 4 to 7 millimeter. Right. And now, what is the length of this common carotid, left common carotid artery? Okay, the length of this left common carotid artery is about 22.2 centimeter. It is the length of this left common carotid artery. This was the second branch which arises from the we say that the arch of the aorta. The next branch that arises from it, the third branch, that is the left subclavian artery. Left subclavian artery. Right. Okay, the left subclavian artery, its diameter in case of males is about 8 to 12 millimeter, right? And in case of females, its diameter is about 6 to 10 millimeter, right? What is the length of this left subclavian artery? So its length is about 7 to 11 centimeter. Yes, its length is about 7 to 11 centimeter. Okay, these were the three branches which arise from the arch of the aorta. The first one we discussed here, the brachiocephalic artery, which gives off two important branches. Those are the right common carotid artery and the right subclavian artery, right? Then there is the third branch that arises from, the second branch that arises from this arch of the aorta, that is the left common carotid artery, right? And we have mentioned its dimensions. And then there is the left subclavian artery, and here we also have its dimensions. Now in the next lecture, friends, I will discuss about the branches of this descending thoracic aorta in details. So be with us. If you like our lectures, please hit the like button and do subscriptions. Share these lectures with your friends so that they could also get some benefit. And friends, be with us to watch those next lectures. Thank you so much.